Okay, so these are Exponent rules and tips by Julian and Avery. So first of all, what you see here is a base and an exponent. Julian, go to the base of the thing. That's the base, and then up to the right is the exponent. So what this means when you see a number with an exponent is that you're going to have that number multiplied by itself the amount of times that the exponent dictates. So as you can see over there, if you have x to the second power, or x squared, you have x times x. When you add two numbers with exponents, like x squared plus x squared, and what you're adding is x times x plus x times x. So what you get is 2x squared. When you multiply numbers with exponents, what you're doing is you're multiplying x times x times x times x, in the case of x squared times x squared. So your result is going to be x to the fourth. Okay, so when you add together two numbers with exponents, an easier way to think about it, and in order to solve the equation, what you can do is take the bases and add them together, and then put an exponent over them grouped together. So you have x plus x times x plus x. When you're multiplying two base numbers with exponents, you can think of it as the number and then with the exponents added together. So you have x2 plus 2, or x to the fourth. When you subtract two numbers with exponents, you can do the same thing as when adding them, except use subtraction instead of addition. And when you're dividing them, you do the same thing as in multiplication, but you subtract the exponents instead of adding them. In addition, whenever you have a number to the power of 0, your answer will always be 1, and when you have a number to the power of 1, your answer will always be the base number. When you have a base with an exponent multiplied by another number, as in like 2x squared, a good way to think about it is that you have 2x times x, because what that will be is 2 of x squared, basically, because x times x is x squared, and you just have 2 that, so it's 2x squared. If, for instance, x in that equation equaled 2, then you have 2 times 2 squared, which would be equal to 2x squared. But the important thing to note is that you always do the exponent to a number before multiplying it by another number. So the answer wouldn't be 4 squared, it would be 16. It would be 2 times 2 squared, which is 4, not 4 squared. So if you have a number to a negative exponent, basically the way that you can solve it is you take that number and divide it by itself to a power that's a positive exponent 1 greater than the positive opposite of the negative counterpart would be. So if you have x to the negative 1, it's equal to x divided by x to the second. If you have x to the negative second, it's equal to x divided by x to the third, and so on and so forth. But an easier way to solve this, if you see it in sort of a longer problem, is that like x to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over x. And if you have x to the negative second, it's equal to 0.5 over x. You want to make sure you don't make it 2 over x, because then that's not correct. You're making the number greater instead of lesser. So yeah, and it'll go on like that. You can continue dividing by 2 as the exponents get greater. If you have x squared in parentheses to the second, what you have is x squared times x squared. If you have a number where it's 2x squared to the second, what you have is 2x squared times 2x squared. So, or, basically, 2 squared times x squared. So it's going to be 4x squared. Go to the next one.
The end! The end! Hooray! You did it!